there are some questions that is coming up after yesterday's talk. What I suggest is that either you can write those questions and give it to us. I will prepare and I'll project it because it takes some time to prepare. Okay. If I know the answers spontaneously, I will answer. Some of the question that has been put today regarding general movement assessment, that is related to the grading, how to grade the newborn based on their movement, and that is actually a grading pattern that just need for me around 1 hour peaceful time to prepare. So if you have those questions, if you can write to me, I'll prepare and put it as a separate PowerPoint. That is the one point. Second thing is that anything regarding your collective questions, we have put a panel discussion. Okay, that is at 3 to 4 on the last day, that is tomorrow. So we will address those questions during the panel discussion.
Good.
Okay. Regarding today's structure, because there will be a lab session today. Today's date will be only for the infant. Okay. So we will have a lecture. And lecture is like telling you about what the scale is actually. Okay. And then we will have a practical session how to score the newborn. Okay. And for that scoring you have this form. Okay. So you will keep this form in your hand. And as I go ahead with the lecture, something I will ask you to write on the form. Okay. You please don't forget to write. Okay. If you forget, you will miss, it will be jumbled because there are lots of information and we'll be going slow in this lecture. I promise you I'll go slow. Okay. Then we have practice at 10 to 11. Okay. And 11 to 12. Okay. For the practical session, what we have done is we have to move out from here and go to the department. We have the staff members who will guide you, okay? And in the department, a complete team of the attendees has been divided into 5 teams, 5 groups. Your names are put as a group and you have a group leader, okay? So you will go to that respective room with your group leaders, okay? But that will be happening when you are going to do along with the group leader an assessment for a child. Okay. But one assessment that I will do around 10 to 11. Okay. That assessment only myself will be there and all of you will be there. And center baby will be there. Okay. And you know they are newborn preterm child. I don't know which baby has been selected. The baby will be new for me as well. Okay? So we expect that baby may cry. Okay? So if baby is going to cry, you need to be little patient and tolerant. Okay? And same time, that it is designed like there is a center mat, and then you will have a one ring around that who will be sitting down, and one ring who will be standing close to the wall. That is how it is, and we will adjust to them. Okay? Okay. But since all of you have your bags and all, we have requested the department to keep one room where you can keep your bags. Okay? Since lots of people are there, so I expect you to remove your shoes and just walk in without shoes, because the children will be there. After that, you yourself will be practicing with the baby, with your team at 1 o'clock, 1 to 3. Okay? And then 3 to 4, each team will come here and present your findings. Okay? You will have a team leader, not the staff. Team leader, one of you. Or the staff also can come forward. Okay? But if any one of you as a participant want to come and present your case, what finding you got, your questions, you are free to do that. And that time we will give you your interpretation and analysis about that baby. Is that clear? So, as a participant, you can identify your own team member other than the department staff who is your group leader. Okay? Yeah, that is what will happen today. Okay? When you are going to evaluate your baby, okay, before you the group leader would have already evaluated the baby. Okay, so that time that is taken by the baby become less, and you get a chance in case baby is cooperative. Then we will be inviting you, the group leader will invite you to come down, and then you can test item, because there are 20 items in this. So any one item you can test, you are free to do that, provided baby cooperate. If the baby doesn't cooperate, then we cannot tell the baby that please cooperate because we have a program for you to learn. Just bear with that, okay. So this is how it will happen today. So we go ahead with the class, right? Okay, so we are talking today about the infant, and it is called as infant neonatal interaction factory. And whatever reflexes that has been spoken to you yesterday, and some more information regarding why we need motor evaluation, okay. This particular evaluation tool is a sum of all that. Okay. So in this, you will be seeing the children when the evaluation tools are made. Always remember that it is meant to identify a child who is performing perfectly all right. Okay. So when the tools will identify the problem, it is based on a best child. Okay. So any child who is not best, the tool should be able to tell you that look, this baby is not best. That is the purpose. So that is here how you are seeing two babies who is 20 days old, and you can see the abdominal posturing, and this is the baby who is 24 days old, and you can see the symmetrical posturing. The point is why we call symmetrical posturing. So I hope you can make out that the head is turned, arm is extended, occipital side, arms and the legs are flexed, right? And the face side, arms and legs are extended. I hope you know this is called ATNR.
Yeah.
Okay. Now in this case, what is happening is the trunk is remaining same. There is no change in the trunk position. What you see in this baby is, you can see over here the dorsal muscle so much overactive, and so parallel you can make out the pectoral muscles over here. There is an extension here happening in the arm, child is trying to push. There is an extension in the both lower limbs. Over here you have the slight flexion of the shoulder as well as the elbow, but the complete trunk is arching.
Mm-hmm.
If this is happening in newborn, it will not be considered as okay. There is a problem. So that is how you can see the symmetry between the two children, who one is high risk and one is potentially normal. Okay. So to pick these children, we have this scale that has been made, and the idea is that we need to have therapy referral early for the children who has problem. Another is to do the research, and then another is to that as a marker of the problem during early school years, whether all these position has an effect in when the child go for the school performance. That is how the whole thing is. Now, when you look at the school, do you think that all the children who is developing, they keep getting 90 percentile, or GPA, if you have a 5-point GPA, they are getting 4.8 or 4.5 or above? There would be somebody who get 3. There would be somebody who get 2, like that we can have. That means all the children who is developing normally, there is no guarantee that the child will do scholastically better. But how to reflect that? That reflection is important, because these scales are applicable only up to 18 months. And after that, for that you need a different evaluation tools. But if you have a child, same child followed up from the birth till 10 years and child is not doing well, you can absolutely go back into the early childhood age evaluation, and you can say, okay, these were the potential reason why the child is not doing well in the school. So that is how the scale has the use. So if you have a infant neurological evaluation, it needs to have some qualities. And what are those qualities? These are the qualities, that is, you can quantify. When you are looking at the baby, you are also looking, I am also looking. But how we can quantify? When you have a temperature, you can say, I have 98 degrees Celsius temperature, or I have 99 degrees Celsius of Fahrenheit, how we calculate Fahrenheit. So in that case, you need a numerical value, and this numerical value need to be identified so that you can do the entry easily. This scale gives you that numerical value. That means you can enter the findings as a 1, 3 or 5. Why 1, 3 and 5? We will answer it later. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Then it should have a reliability across the age range for which it is applicable. That means this scale is applicable from birth to 18 months. Throughout that, it should be reliable. Whatever information you are getting, it should be trusted, and it should have sufficient reliability and validity both for clinical application and research application. When we say clinical and research, what does it mean? For a research, I hope you know p-value. Okay, p-value is nothing called as probability. Okay, that p-value, if it is less than 0.005, it is considered as okay, significant. Okay, or you say 0.05. For if you read the research article, that is how you will understand 0.05 is considered significant. But if it is coming 0.005, it is called as highly significant. That is how the analysis goes. So that means whatever is significant in terms of research need not to be significant in terms of clinical. That means out of 20 items, as you will see through these pages, just for one item, if the child is not performing well, all the item child has scored highest, and only for one item child has scored least, does it mean child is having problem? Just because you have got 10 questions and 9 questions you have answered, one question you haven't answered, does it mean that you don't have intellect? That is the point. So that is called as research and clinical application. That means whatever you see clinically, that information, if it is important in the research, those information will be much more important. Whatever you see in research as a significant, in clinical, it may not be much of importance. That means that scale should have that capability. So in the research, if you ask any student who is doing the studies, they will always look for my study should be significant. They are breaking brain that why it is not coming significant. So your supervisor or the guide will tell that, what, did you do any mistake in the data collection that it is coming insignificant? No. If insignificant is coming, absolutely you can have error in the data. But if the data collection is correct, if it is coming insignificant, that means your sample size were such that the information what is coming, it is not related with your research hypothesis. So that is how you can interpret. And then it should be acceptable to the clinicians. That means as a clinical purpose, it should be acceptable to you. The information should tell you that, okay, if my baby has a problem, I also thought baby has a problem. That means you simply do not order neurological evaluation for all the children. Only when you have clinical suspicion, then only you request for the neurological evaluation. And when you have a neurological evaluation, then you want to quantify it more. For that quantification, we need such kind of evaluation tools. And then any tools that is needing time, it should be easy. So this tools, as you are saying, you have a front and you have a back. Just one sheet of the paper. So it should be easy, not bulky one. There are many evaluation tools that we spoke yesterday. It is quite bulky one, it is quite detailed. It runs in some 20 pages. So you will wonder if it is in 20 pages, how many hours it will take. If you have the kind of children I see over here, if you have so many children, each child you don't have 1 hour time to spend. That means it must take least possible time for you to evaluate. And it should have a simplicity, clarity of the item should be there. That means it should clearly conform to the analysis, and plus it should have a simplicity in scoring. It should be easy to score. So these properties we need in an evaluation tools. So the question is whether all these qualities are there in the InfANIV or no. Okay, so the answer is yes, it has all the qualities. So how we can say it has all the qualities? We go down further. Okay. Okay, so you can see in this scale down, last after 20 number, please open your page, this one. Okay. Down we look at, it is written 1994 by Patricia Ellison. Okay. So that means, sorry. Okay, you will see here Patricia Ellison. She is the one who made this scale. Okay. And then you will see Therapy Skill Builders. They are the company who publishes this scale. Okay. And then it was published in the year 1994. So that you can see 1994. Okay. So these are the information that you need. You need to see those information. Now, believe me, why these names are important and why the year is important. Imagine in 1994 somebody thought of making this scale. And believe me, when you think about making the scale, one person's life will go. After that, you will not have energy to put your thought process in another scale making. That means you need to have that much of data, that much of statistics to summarize and convert it as easy to score for a general mass like us. Because you don't have time to spend to say that it is, this information is not reliable, this information is not valid. You want somebody to make it like a machine which you can trust. So that is how this scale is there. Okay. So who all can be targeted through on the InfANIV? So the target population is the premature newborn children who has medical or no medical complications, or who has neurological or no neurological complications. They can be targeted. Or the normal newborn children who has history of developmental delay, they can be recommended for the evaluation. Or the newborn who has been born with less than 750 gram birth weight, they can be recommended.
I am so sorry, but I am confused with this term is newborn children, infant with low birth weight. يعني it is newborn with developmental delay.
All the newborn with developmental delay need not.
Why newborn children? Why newborn children?
Sorry, because
it is a newborn.
Because this scale is applicable from birth to 18 months. So when if you cannot use the birth, so when you will call them newborn. Correct.
في الفيرست 28 days of life.
All the children who is newborn on the first day cannot be recommended for evaluation. Understand? All the children who has low birth weight can be suspected to have problem, need not to have problem. All the newborn need not to have developmental delays. Okay? And all the premature children need not to have medical problem. All the premature children need not to have neurological problem. Okay? Okay. After this, as you put question, today I'll put you one child whose birth weight was less than 700 gram. Okay? I'll put that video to you and you judge what is the problem in the baby. And that problem parents are noticing after 1 year, 10 months. So the question is, what we were doing before 1 year, 10 months? We were doing nothing before 1 year, 10 months because we never suspected child having a neurological problem. Because during that time, there were no medical complications, so you never thought. There were no neurological problems, so you never thought, now child is walking. Can we pick those child early? Skill is intact. How many children with low birth weight you suspect that they will have problem? All? No. I have seen as low as 500, less than 500 gram, where everybody thought that the child will have quadriplegic state, cerebral palsy. That child is normal today. going to school, performing very well. We have seen many children who has small brain. That is, clinically they are, radiologically they are identified as microcephaly, but neuromotor they are normal. So such probabilities are possible. Okay, so that is how you have a target population. So the idea is to identify the infant who are at risk for the neuromotor dysfunction before clinically is evident to the family, or before parents clinically come to the clinician to say that, look, my baby has a problem. We should be able to pick this before family is picking up the problem. The scale should have that capacity. The scale has that capacity. That means you are trusting on the scale so that before parents are noticing the problem, you can identify and you can say, okay, you need the therapy. I suspect some problem because of XYZ reasons. So that is the reason you.
Regarding premature, it's not clear to me the definition. Premature, how premature? Premature is not active. Is it goes up?
Okay, fine. I take up the question. When I say write like this, any premature baby can be considered for this scale evaluation. Okay. Since the scale as such doesn't define the premature range, so I am not bound to put that specific gestational age. Yes, that's right. And in this lecture I am putting exactly based on which the scale has been made. You can have your questions regarding how to define your preterm, okay, or premature baby. You can have your definition, but when the scale is made, whatever manual says, I am bound to follow only that component. I will not add anything from my side. Okay. Okay. So how the content were selected out in this 20 scale? The content were selected based on these 4 evaluation tools, and these were considered as the tools by which neurological examination can be made. One was Milani comparative, another was French angle method, primitive reflexes, and pain and open method. So that means these 4 scales were the basic foundation to summarize this infant scale as a 20 item scale. Okay. So now, how many items you have? So when you look at this, go to the first page, you will see in this it has got 20 items. Okay, 1 to 20 you will see. And when you look at these 20 items, it is saying as a factor. So how to say it as a factor? So look at your right hand side. On the right hand side, you will see 5 columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns. Each column indicates one factor. Clear? Each column indicates one factor.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mean?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now, what are those factors? So these are the factors. So now I want you to write down these factors as it is written in the column. Okay. Otherwise, you will make again mistake. So the first column is spasticity. These are the factor names. Okay. Second column is head and trunk posture. That is the factor name. Third column is vestibular function. That is the factor name. Fourth column is lower extremity reflexes and posture. That is the fourth factor. And fifth column is fifth factor, that is French angles. Okay. Now look at the beauty of the way they have designed. Just go to the factor number 1, spasticity. Okay. You will see item number 1. Item number
8.
7, 8. Okay. Item number 9 and item number 14. These 4 items are under the category of spasticity. Clear? I'll come back. I'm coming. It is there. I'm just telling you as you see this. So how do you identify? You will see an open box there. Look at this right hand side. you will see open box. Open box and shaded box. Whatever you have open box, those open box items goes into that factor. Clear?
Yeah, clear. Clear now.
Now, another component is that in each factor, only 4 items are kept. Count that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Second column, 1, 2, 3, 4. Third column, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that. So that makes 5 factor. Each factor 4 items. 5 4s are 20. That means 20 items. Is that clear? 5 factors. Each factor has 4 items.
ايوه ايوه ايوه
So 5 4s are 20.
هيتحقق في دي و8 و9
3
Clear?
5 كده.
ايوه ايوه
واحد ستين 2 كلهم 2 الترانك
Clear? All of you?
ايوه
Okay? So that means they have divided uniform items across all the factors. It was not kept as more items in one factor, less items in another factor. That means across the factor, number of items are uniform. Is that clear?
there is I think overlapping between spasticity and the posture of the trunk and the head. يعني spasticity including the trunk and the head and including the limb spastic if it is occurred.
We are coming to
Explain
that.
later?
We are coming, we are coming. Okay? Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, so we go to the next. So factor 1, which all component comes under factor 1? So factor 1 has got, that is spasticity, it has got ATNR, TLR supine, TLR prone, hands open and closed. These 4 items are categorized as factor 1. The factor is named as spasticity. Whether this factor is reliable statistically, okay, it is 0.86. That means 86% reliability is there for this factor. Any evaluation tools in the world, which is psychometric evaluation, if it is coming more than 60, that is 0.6 and above, it is considered as reliable tool. By that standard, this factor has got 0.86 means 86% reliable. Rest 14% you can have your confusion. If anybody has the confusion, it is within the domain of 14%. Okay? So 86% reliability is there for this factor. Is that clear? So I read that. You will see the hands open and closed. That is factor number 1. Item number 1. Then you have TLR supine and prone, item number 8 and 9, and then you have got for item number 14, item number 8 and 9 and 14, that is TLR prone. So these four items makes factor 1. Is that clear to all of you? Okay, so we go to the second factor. Okay. This is the second factor, that is head and trunk, and it talks about the posture of head and trunk. Okay, items included in this are sitting, pull to set, all fours, and body derotative. And here comes the sitting position, that is your item number 15, and then you have pull to sit, item number 10, 10, 14. Okay, 10, 11, 13 and 14. Okay, that is your pull to set, body derotative. Okay, then prone position and then sitting position. These all comes under factor number 2, that is head and trunk. Its reliability is once again 0.86. Okay. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, next. The factor 3rd, that is vestibular function. Item included in this are, that is item number 12, then item number 16, item number 17, and item number 20. That is your body rotative, then sideways parachute, backward parachute, and then forward parachute. Okay, so these are the 4 items included in factor 3 that signify about vestibular function, and its reliability is 0.89, close to 90%. Derotative comes before. Derotative comes in factor 2. Is that clear? Okay. Right. Factor 4. Factor 4, that is legs. Item included in this are item number 6, that is dorsiflexion of the foot, foot grasp, that is item number 7, and then standing weight bearing, that is item number 18, and then item number 19, that is positive support reaction. These makes the factor 4, that is about the legs, and its reliability is 0.72. Is that clear? Okay, so the last factor is factor 5th, and that is French angle. And French angle, many of you would have read, so there won't be any much confusion on this. So here you have item number 2, 3, 4, and 5. It is all in one order. Okay, that is calf sign, heel to ear, popliteal angle, and leg abduction. And that makes your factor number 5, and that has reliability of 0.89. So in general, when you look at all the 20 components under different 5 factors, you will find that for all the factor, statistical reliability is more than 70%. So since by statistical measure it is more than 70, that means this tool is really strong enough to pick the neurological problem in a newborn baby. Now, the question as it's been put through, that why the confusion is coming. Confusion is coming because 1 month or 2 months baby will be in NICU. Okay, preterm or low birth weight or neurological problem or medical complications. And after that baby comes to you, by the time baby comes to you is 2 months or 3 months or 4 months. Now that time when you are evaluating the baby, what happens is that can you correctly predict through these evaluation if the central nervous system has suffered any kind of neurological damage or no? And that is a skill. How to trust that? That trustworthy thing you will get from this skill, because for all the factors, for all the items grouped as a factor has a reliability of more than 70%, and that's why you can trust that it can identify or it can be justified that yes, baby has a problem, or you can believe that okay, this baby really needs monitoring. Is that clear at this level? Okay, so we go to the next scoring pattern. Okay, go back, turn the page. Okay, scoring pattern you will see anywhere you look on the extreme right corner, extreme right column. Okay, you will see 5, 3, 1.
Yes.
Clear? Most of the item you will see 5, 3, 1. That means it will be scored based on 1, 3, and 5, where 1 is considered as the least score, 3 is considered as the mid-range score, and highest score is considered as the 5. Out of that, anybody who has 1 and 3 score, they will be calling as abnormal. That means the score is not perfect. So you can raise a question, why not 0? You saw in Alberta 0.
Yes.
So why not 0? So the point is that if any item you multiply by 0, it becomes 0. That means that item gets nullified. And that is the reason score cannot be put for such a scale 0. Understand? If it has to be 0, it gets nullified. That means you cannot fail a baby just because baby is not doing anything. It is like I said, just because out of 10, 9 answered, 1 didn't answer, that doesn't mean that student cannot answer or student justify the appropriate reason to be failed in exam. So you cannot put 0, and that is how the scoring is there in the scoring pattern. Alberta, you will see 0, observed 1, not observed 0. Okay, so you count only the observed items. In this scale, you have to test. You cannot count an item that you are testing as a 0, because then the point is that no need to put such item in the scale. So that's why 0 is not there. And so it is not continuous 0, 1 and 2. Okay, it is 1, 3 and 5. Always that midline 2 and 4 has been missed. Okay, we'll see later. Okay, so who will be called as 1? Okay, if there is a, when you look at the same column on the back side, if you look at this, it is 1, it is 2 stage delay. If you see 2 stage delay, you will call it as 1. And what is 2 stage delay? We will talk when I talk about the scoring. Okay, if it is a 1 stage delay, you call it, give the score of 3. If it is a picture matches the age, that means you will look at this column on top, you will see 0.9 top line, top row, 0.9, 1 to 1.9, 2 to 2.9, 4 to 4.9. That is nothing but it is the corrected age that you are seeing in the baby.
Like
Each age,
position has
yes.
Month, yes.
In month.
Okay.
In month.
So that is all there in the months. Okay. So if it is matching whatever you have scored here front, it is matching on the back side, picture matching the age range, you will give a score of maximum. If picture is not matching and it is just 1 point not matching, you will give a score of 3, because that 1 stage delay is there. If it is 2, picture is not matching with the age, then you call it as 2 stage delay. You will give a yeah, I'm coming to that slowly. I hope you understand it is so complicated. So I have to address everything slowly. Okay, it is not so easy because it is a machine, but that is how you understand that. Okay. So how you will use the score sheet? Okay. So go back, front. On top, down to the infinite, it is written circle 1. Clear? Down here, infinite, circle 1. Okay? Front page. You will see circle 1. Okay? So whatever you see that item and whatever you are observing in the baby on your examination, which you have to justify, you circle it. Just you have to circle it. Clear? Circle 1. So whatever item you are evaluating, whatever baby is performed, you circle it. That's it. Is that clear? This 0 to 0.9 is 1. Similarly, 1 to 1.9 is 1 to 2 months. Just before diagnosis. All of it clear? Okay. And then once you have circled, whatever you have circled, you go back, okay, on your scoring sheet, and then as I said, picture matching the age with the age, okay, you assign a point. It is a 1 stage delay or it is a 2 stage delay. Then I'll open, because let me complete this, then I'll open this file directly on the system, and then it will be easy, okay? And so you will assign the point for the each individual item. After that, you have to determine the performance of the